guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. If you watch a lot of my videos back to back, you'll often see me wearing like about two of the same sweatshirts. I do have a washing machine. I wear them externally on my clothing like a jacket because it is very cold in my steel building when it's 29 degrees out. So I just want to let you guys know I am a bit of a bum, but I'm not a dirty bum at least. This is why we can't have nice things. This is late at night. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and this came out I think a day ago, and I've kind of been sitting on this trying to get a little bit more information on it to see what reactions are, because I'm not a Twitch watcher, and probably many of you aren't. But I do like the idea of having a channel where, anybody 13 or older, according to the terms of service, can log in and watch other people play video games. It creates a community. It's a viable way for a young person that's into video games and things, become a content creator, get comfortable talking in front of a microphone, playing a game they love. Now, of course, that means that we don't have doctors and scientists anymore. Everybody wants to become an Insta-star on this stuff and make their money this way. Well, Twitch has changed their terms of service after a gal named, what was her name? Morgane, I think, morgpie. So this girl does a stream. She has the camera cut off just above the jubblies and simulating that she was doing it not wearing any clothing. And you might say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Why would a woman be on this, not even streaming a game and just standing there dancing around for the tips? This can be as young as 13-year-old young people, or come to find out, you don't even have to have an account or log in to see this stuff. So anybody that has access to the internet can now go see this thing. And the reason why I'm kind of upset about it is because a kid can say to a parent, hey, Mom, I want to go play or watch Twitch. It's a video service by Amazon that lets me watch other people play video games. The parent says, okay, I'll put it on the safe, not blocked, maybe like filter they have on the internet or their phone or whatever. And then kids log in and see this stuff. And now they're removing even more blocks on it. The reason why this bothers me is the age of the young kids that can get on here. The other reason why it really bothers me is it's another space that has been invaded and ruined by women. And you might say I'm not even talking about the women that are streaming games. I don't care if a woman's, she's wearing a tight T-shirt and she's streaming a game. Yes, young boys are going to turn in to watch her play a video game and the tight T-shirt. But then the video game goes away. And then the T-shirt goes away. And then pretty soon, everything goes away. And because it's such a money earner, Twitch is like, all right, we're going to let everybody just kind of go crazy on this thing. And it just, everything seems to be, I know I'm going to get hate for saying this. Everything seems to be getting ruined by women going crazy. Whether it's Twitch, whether now OnlyFools, there are, I forget, the number, I'll just get into the story and I'll rant at the end. I just get so frustrated. Twitch has announced updates to its content guideline after morgpie was banned for seemingly appearing topless on the platform. The streamer became a topic of discussion over the weekend after she addressed viewers on Twitch with her bare upper collarbones and shoulders and cleavage on show. Just a few days later after the stream, Magpie was banned because she allegedly violated Twitch's guidelines on adult spicy content, which prohibited women from showing the boobages with exposed, spotlights, unless they're actively feeding a child. However, morgpie has since pointed out that nothing was explicitly shown. Actually, what she did is something like this, but another couple of inches lower. And you couldn't really see anything. Technically, there are bikinis on the beach that you could see more skin, but it's implied because you don't see any straps or anything. So her appearance formed part of a new meta on Twitch in which streamers fake this look in an effort to get more viewers, and morgpie told Dexerto, she was simply wearing a low-cut top which could not be seen on camera. I have an image of something similar. saved somewhere here. Let me grab it. All right, here's another image that was going around, and this is what they're doing. So I think up in the corner, I don't know if she's actually playing this Mario 64 or if she's watching somebody play it at this point. I wouldn't doubt it. But ironically, when you watch my videos, like I'm kind of the small part, and the news, the news is the big part. When you watch these streamers, you can barely see this game. And if you're watching on a phone, forget about it. All you can see is her. Well, this is the new meta, and because of it, they're changing the rules. Not to protect, young people that might come across this content, but the young people, well, they're protecting their wallets, really, because obviously these women make a lot in the streaming and the ad revenue and everything else. It added that its previously suggested content policy resulted in female presenting streamers, okay, being disproportionately penalized. So, well, because of this, women are getting punished too much. Now, I guess guys can go topless. I don't know. They have among the changes to the guidelines, blase. And I'm going to, I'll read through those here. Let me close that window. About Twitch. Twitch is live streaming designed. This is the problem I have with 13 and up. Many teams have found that Twitch provides new opportunities to express themselves, find friends, and join thriving communities of like-minded people. Well, if you're going to now, and again, I'm not a prude. I'm not a prude. I understand that you can't see anything on this stuff, and young boys are going to look this stuff up anyway. They are. So I'm not against the women doing this, but the problem that I see with this that is so annoying is they're taking over a video game site that was mostly used by guys just to play games and watch, go over to OnlyFools. But see, what they do is they come here and then they have a pin up at the top of their stream of their OnlyFools content. And so it's basically become advertising for the spicy stuff on a young, on a gaming stream, which is taking stuff away, I think, from kind of men's content. They say content that deliberately highlights the breasticles, the buttocks, or the pelvic region, even when fully clothed. Streamers found it difficult to determine what was prohibited and what was allowed. Often evaluating whether or not a stream violated this portion of the policy was subjective. In addition, the former suggestive content policy was out of line with industry standards and resulted in basically women getting penalized. Fictionalized, drawn, animated, fictionalized, drawn, animated, or sculptured, fully exposed body parts is going to be fine. So what does that mean? Hentai. That's going to be on there all over the place because that is drawn, animated, or sculpted. So that's going to be fine now. There's a thriving artist community on Twitch, etc. Body writing on female, on the chest and buttocks, regardless of gender. So now you can, when they say body writing, they're also talking about body paint. So now what that means is that women can wear nothing up top and just, I don't know if she has to put a pasty over the headlights there, and then just wear body paint. Again, I have no problem if women want to make this content. I have no problem if they want to make the content. Can they not come to a gaming stream and take it over? Can they not come to a gaming channel and take it over? Find someplace else to do your thoughterry. That's really all the problem I have with this stuff. Because, look, I'm kind of like, if you want to let your freak flags fly, go ahead. This is a video that this guy's talking about on it. And look, what she's doing, I don't care. I really don't. If this gets her OnlyFools content, but I just don't want it to be for young people. But this guy logged into Twitter, into Twitch. It shows you how often I forget the name of the thing. He logs in an incognito window. He's not logged in, which he points to up here, because you can see the login sign up here. And I'll let him explain what's going on.
Hey, Twitch just updated their TOS to allow tasteful news or something like that. I opened up Twitch in a private browser you can see I'm not logged in here or anything, and I was able to get in no problem. I could be a 5-year-old. I could be a 5-year-old trying to find Fortnite and stumble upon this. You can see it's labeled may contain sexual themes. The browse page is no different than what it is when you're logged in. She has a link pinned over here that leads to her OnlyFans.
Like that?
Twitch is such a joke. This is ridiculous. I honestly don't care about this content because the site's dying, but little kids don't know that. Little kids still think Twitch is cool. So I don't know. It's messed up.
And that's kind of my take on it. It's kind of hijack. It's women coming into us. It's the same thing we always complain about. Women are like, hey, you need to include us in this space. You know, you game bros, they shame women for coming into their content, and they hassle women for coming into their hobbies. They're gatekeeping, you know, and so eventually there's enough pressure, and then the women are let in, and then the women start acting the fool, and then the women start becoming the problematic, and then the women start taking over the content because, you know, young guys are going to look into this stuff. She's not playing a video game. She's not streaming anything. She's sitting here looking at comments and sitting here like this. If this was YouTube that started doing this, I don't care. If it was, I mean, well, I do, because there's a lot of people that come to YouTube for content for other things. But I guess I guess my problem I have with it is Twitch is advertised as something it's not anymore. The games are going away. The women are popping up. All these metas are different. You know, the bathtub stuff and it's it's another nice thing or another nice idea that's ruined by women creeping into it and taking it over. I guess that's my big gripe about it. And I'll leave it. I'm not going to make this one long tonight because I'm kind of tired, but I'll leave it with this. The common theme, what feminism always promised, women at least, was women, you should be allowed to be in the workspace. You should be equal access to all things that men have, upper education, sports, things like this. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if they have to compete on the same level. But then it was no longer that's okay. It's now we have to have more women doing things and more positions set aside for women and more opportunities for women to get into things. And now women are getting the leg up on men in many, many categories that I've talked in multiple videos of the past. And what are they doing with this education, this spot in higher earning with these colleges? What are they doing with maybe the scholarships that they got to kind of help them along? They're squandering it. They're ruining it. And they're ruining themselves on the way. The last video I have is going to be this one. We're going to hear from this gal. I'm just going to play it.
In honor of me graduating college this week, I was like, you know what? We're going to rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to check our student loan debt. And I kind of at a ballpark range, like I knew how much I owed, not down to like the exact dollar amount. I'm the type of person who gets nervous to check their bank account after a weekend out. So I took a look. I took a hard gander at exactly how much money I owe. I'm going to die with it. Like, I can confidently say there wasn't even like a panic. It was just like my heart sank to my ass.
All right. When she says, I don't even want to check my bank account, is that being fiscally responsible? No, of course it's not. But she can keep taking money out on these school loans. And then when graduates are saying, like, I have $200,000 or $250,000 worth of debt, and I know somebody that had school loans. And it's like you just walk in and say, okay, I'm going to need X amount more for my car payments and my rent payment because, you know, they're students, and my school and my books and everything. And it's like, okay, here's a check for $12,000 for this semester, or in some cases, $30,000 for this semester, whatever. The idea would be if you spent as little of that money as possible and just squeaked by while you're in college, even if you got those loans, when you got out of college, you could turn right around before the interest even starts on the loan. And I'm not sure if the college loans work any different, but you could turn around and like give half of it back if you were able to save that amount and say, you know what, I ended up not needing this. But what women are doing is they're going crazy with this stuff, and then they're at the end of it, they're like, I can't pay for this. And then we've got our government once again coming around saying we're gonna pay off these loans. So they're going out and being crazy, buying a bunch of stuff. The government bails them out, and then our tax dollars have to pay for this stuff. But what's she gonna do? Is she gonna go out and work a job and then double down and maybe work part-time on a job or work 2 jobs until she can get this squared away? No, listen to what her solution is.
I'm going to die with it. Like, I don't know any way I'm going to be able to pay that off other than selling my organs on the black market. This is why I don't understand why people shit on sugar babies, because, like, I could get this all paid off tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but you know what I mean, like, within the year. If I just found a rich man and everyone's like, patriarchy, don't work for them. Ask not what you can do for the patriarchy, but what the patriarchy can do for you. If it benefits me, then maybe it's not the patriarchy. Maybe it's just a helping hand. In honor of me graduating college.
Okay, so here she says, you know what? I just need to find a rich man, a rich old man, and be a sugar thing. I don't know if I can say those words on YouTube. She can rent herself to an old man. He writes her checks. She does the deed. She does it for a couple of years to pay off her loans, school loans, and then she's like moving on with life. So what's happening? She's going back to the oldest profession in the world to pay for her college debt. She says, "Oh, I'll find an older guy to take care of me." Now hear me out. If I were going to say this sentence in any other situation, a young girl graduates from college, she's going to find an older guy to take care of her, to make her life easy, to pay her bills, and here's the difference. And she was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and she was going to take care of the family and everything. You'd probably be like, yeah, that's how it's worked for everything right up until the 1960s. The flip of that is she doesn't want to live with a guy. She doesn't want to take care of a family. She doesn't want to have children with this guy. She wants to take his money, just sleep with him and take his money, pay off her bills, and then go yeet off and have her fun and do her you go girl through her 20s and 30s. And then what happens? She'll end up being an old angry feminist. This is the plan. This is the plan for women now. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm pretty good looking. I'll get into OnlyFools. I'll get into Twitch and do streams. I'll find myself a sugar, guy to take care of everything for me. And really all they're doing is they're like, okay, so basically I want to get myself in a lot of debt. I'll be a professional for a few years, lady of the night. I'll make some money, and then I'll go back to being a girl boss. But then what happens when you can't pay rent? And what happens when you can't pay for your car? What happens when you can't pay for your groceries? What happens when you can't buy a house? They turn right around and do it again, more than likely. And what's funny is if this gal had skipped college, and when she was, 20, 21, 22, 23, wherever, somewhere around there, found herself a good guy that was successful, because, again, she's not hard to look at. This isn't maybe the most flattering, but she's not hard on the eyes, at least. Granted, she's got a lot of makeup on, so that's always hard to tell. She might be a troll underneath it. But she could probably find a pretty good earner, pretty good dude, guy that would be willing to work hard, bring home the money. They'd have at least a roof over their heads, and they could start a family, and then she wouldn't have to worry about the money and the bills. And it'd be almost like what she's doing. The only thing she misses when she does that is her freedom, her ability to leave, come and go as she wants, sleep with whoever she wants, girl boss as much as she wants. And women can't live without that now. They think that is the winning, answer to all of this. And so instead of being traditional and finding somebody that'll take care of you, they're gonna become professionals. And when that money really comes in, let's say she does this and she's getting, let's say she has 1 or 2 or 3 dudes that are willing to pay $2,000 a month to, have their weekly fun with her or whatever. Because I did a video, I think a year or 2 ago, about a gal that was seeing, I think it was 6 or 10 guys, and each one was she was making $12,000 a month doing this stuff. what happens when she does that? You know, you're making 12, 15 grand a month from these sugar guys. And all of a sudden you go, hey, you know, that's 180 grand a year, where using my degree in underwater basket weaving feminist study is only going to pay me 40 grand a year. So what'd she do? The degree just goes in the trash. And she ends up doing that stuff until she meets a guy that maybe thinks wants to wife her up or is an idiot or something like that and falls for her. And then she ends up, you know, at 25 or whatever, end up dating a 55-year-old guy that's a doctor and close to retired, very successful, and he starts taking care of her. Feminism is failing all of them. Feminism is failing everybody involved with it, with the exception of, again, the top 10 or 20% of men that are like, yeah, you go, girl. Yeah, free sleeping around and make your own money, and I don't even have to take you on a date. You just come over and give me a good time. That's who's winning this stuff. This is the new normal. All this stuff is the new normal. And young people today, because remember, Twitch is operated by Amazon. It's not like, and YouTube is by Google, and you can go to certain countries and watch, you know, undressed yoga. You see ads that are very inappropriate for things that are inappropriate, but they don't care. It's all about the money. And while I'm very much a kind of a libertarian and live and let live, when it comes to the younger generation and people that are not fully developed and aren't of age to make good decisions, we do have to look out for them. We do have to kind of give that generation a good base outlook on life. And then they can wander into the weeds if they want to. But when you're 5 and 8 and 10, you can log into this stuff and wander right into the weeds from the beginning. This is why so many people are weird today, genuinely. When you're a young person and you start getting into weird things, you become weird. You ever meet those guys that they spend tens and $20,000 on like model train sets or like in the case of Nerdrotic, all the comic books and the action figures? It's because they got into that stuff when they were kids and when they were developing, and they realized, hey, you know, I really enjoy whatever. For me, it was computers. And you know what? I wanted to be a network engineer and be in computers for all my life. It does do something to you. So when you have young people that are seeing this stuff, and that means that young women can hear how much people are making from this, they say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll get my degree because my parents want to, and yeah, I'll get the loans, but I'll do what everybody else is doing and just not paying them and ruining their credit. And then instead, I'll just find a rich guy to bail me out, and I'll go back to the oldest profession in the world. That's where we are. I understand why my grandfather was very angry at everybody. Just, you know, you always see the tropes of grandpas running out in the yards and, get off my yard, you stupid kids. I'm kind of like that now, except now I'm like, stupid society, stupid everyone. And in this case like this, yes, it is the simps that are paying money into this stuff. It's the simps that keep this going. It's a supply and demand thing. So I have equal blame for them. But if they're adults and they want to do the Only Fools content, all that, they have the right to. The problem is that is leading, that is continuing and perpetuating this problem. Because then you hear of these content creators like, I don't know, what is her name, Amaranth or whatever. You hear them making millions of dollars a month. And that teaches other women, go ahead and do it. It teaches young men that it's fine to pay for this and to simp. And it just keeps the problem going. And it's going to be up to men to eventually stop doing this, because the women are never going to stop if the money's there. Especially when they're talking about, that's my dating profile of the day. Especially when they're talking about, like, I'm just going to sell myself for a year or two until my loans are done to a bunch of older dudes that have money. We are such a lost society, my friends. And if it sounds like I'm kind of like not high energy, number one, I'm pretty tired. It's coming up on midnight. But number two, you just can't have anything nice anymore. Anything you want to do that starts off with a good cause, whether it's video games or a golf resort or like a cigar lounge or a pub or anything like that, there's no place where you can say, look, we don't want women here. We don't want you here. And they get indignant and they get angry. And what happens over time is every time a woman gets involved, they force a change. They just keep fighting and fighting and fighting to change what it was. And if you're like, look, if you wanted to be a part of this so much because of the way it was, we'll be a part of it the way it was. Quit changing it. But they can't. They have to. They have to. That's why you can't give them an inch when it comes to this stuff, or they take it over and they ruin it for everybody. And now Twitch is another thing that's getting ruined, and it's getting hijacked, and it's turning into an OnlyFools advertising site, because now you don't even have to log in to see it. It's on the main page. It's not under any specified tabs. You just go to the main page, and it's right there. Guys, if you're here on YouTube, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Links down below. Become a supporter or a member. It's free. All you need is an email. And you can check out the additional content that I do at the end of each video here on YouTube. Each video I put extra content over there on Locals. So become a member today, and you too can check it out.